Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother ya?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back to Marquette Now. I'm Olivia Homel.
And I'm Noah Manilow.
Wouldn't it be hard to believe that as a student here, you'd make a well-known nonprofit that led to having a baby named after you?
That's the story of Dr. Sheetheel Vora, a 2006 graduate of Marquette University. She's the CEO of Global Brigades, an organization that helps work with volunteers to partner with communities with less resources. The organization started in 2003 and is now a worldwide organization.
Reporter Aspen Ramos sat down with Vora and learned more about the organization.
It's Mission Week here at Marquette University, and today I was able to speak with Dr. Sheetheel Vora, Marquette alum and CEO of Global Brigades, one of the largest student-led movements in the world. Dr. Vora and I were able to go over the impactfulness that any student can have in the community.
Simple things like when we turn on, the tap, we get clean water. We're not worried about, getting sick. Or if we, have a cold or something else, we just go to a local clinic and we're able to see a doctor and get meds or whatever it is that we need. In these communities, that is absolutely not the case, right? Many people sometimes never see a doctor in their whole lives. Some people have to walk, 5 or 6 hours. It just kind of depends on the circumstance, but there's very limited resources there.
Why is Global Brigades so important to you, and what holds it so dear to you?
We're all, human beings. We're all in the same boat, and what's important to me is to be able to share some of those resources, right? To be able to make the impact, to be able to be impacted, and really kind of live harmoniously together.
I know that there was a story that I have been fortunate enough to hear from you about a baby that was named after you in, was it Honduras or? Honduras it was? Yes.
Yeah.
Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Pull up to the community and imagine, envision, 1,000 people in line waiting to see a doctor. Halfway through the line, we see this young woman, and she had just given birth, several days ago. And she came to see us just to make sure, just for the baby to see the doctor, to make sure that she was okay. She was healthy, the baby was healthy. I was walking outside and I saw her and we started talking. And we talked for an hour, over an hour. And we just got to know each other. We came back the next day actually. And so I saw in the line that she was back with her baby. She had a piece of paper and she said, "Can you write down your name on the piece of paper?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I said, "What is this for?" And she says, "Well, I don't, have a name for my daughter, and you have been so great to me that I'm going to name my daughter after you." And it was just so touching that, just a short amount of time that we spent together, that it was that impactful for her.
Marquette's annual Mission Week is this week. This year's theme is Open to Hope, and the campus community invites students and faculty to reflect on the idea of hope. There are many offerings to hear this week from our inspirational speakers and engage in service, prayer, and worship.
Winter O-Fest at Marquette is a time to get to know student organizations and departments on campus. This year, with COVID-19 restrictions in place, the event is going virtual on a platform called Dougie World. The platform allows students to create a virtual avatar and talk with others while visiting booths. Here's what students can expect.
With a new year comes resolutions, and one very common is implementing a new workout into your day.
Many students have noticed the Hellfair Recreation Center is busier than ever this semester, even with COVID-19 protocols.
Lately it's been super busy, so this is the first day where I actually got the machine I wanted to use. I don't use the weights, but I have noticed that people are waiting a long time to use them, so it just seems I don't know, because of the cold weather or something, it is a lot busier.
Kind of depends on what time of day you go, but whenever I go, it seems like I have a pretty easy time getting access to stuff.
It's been pretty easy to find a place to work out, but sometimes it's a little busy with the basketball court, and sometimes the weights are a little full. But
students, alumni, staff, and faculty can add to their professional clothing wardrobe at a discounted price. Now until Monday, a 30% off coupon is available to buy suits, skirts, shoes, and more. Text GO-MU to 67292 to receive the coupon code.
Marquette's campus is completely covered in snow over the past month. Milwaukee sees some serious snowstorms and freezing temperatures.
The cold, however, has not stopped some students from taking advantage of the weather. Marquette has turned into a winter wonderland this past week as students pack the various open spaces on campus.
Snow people, igloos, and other snow structures can be seen outside academic and residential buildings. As we've seen in Milwaukee, it's been very cold. Now we're going to wait to Charlie with a look at our weather. Charlie?
Thank you, Noah. Yes, it has been extremely cold over the past couple of weeks, and there has been quite a bit of snowfall. I myself, at 3 a.m., went for some sledding with some people I met randomly, and it was a great time. Now, moving into today, it is 9 degrees outside currently, very clear skies, humidity at 49%, chance of precipitation around 15%, and the winds coming out of the northwest around 9 miles an hour for a wind chill of about -7. Now, moving into the overnight for tonight, it is -1 degrees outside for our prediction. Humidity for 65%, precipitation 15%, about the same as it is right now, and the winds coming out of the northwest at around 5 to 10 miles per hour for a wind chill of about -11 to -16. Now, looking into our radar of states I haven't learned since 8th grade, it's raining down there, but for us, like I said before, it is very clear outside. There's some, in Illinois, there's some cloud cover, but other than that, it looks like we're going to have no snow until the next coming days, and we'll hear about that in a little bit. Moving into tomorrow, actually tonight for our overnight lows, -16 in Superior. That's getting really chilly. That's like -24 wind chill. That's ridiculous. Moving into Eau Claire, -14 degrees. Green Bay, -8. Down in Milwaukee, like we said, -1 degrees. It's really getting chilly. You might want to bundle up with 1 to 4 winter coats, depending on where you're from. Now, tomorrow's highs, Superior for 1 degree. Minocqua, 8 degrees. Green Bay, it's hard to see the pack go, but 12 degrees in Green Bay, 18 degrees in Milwaukee, so it is warming up quite a bit. Some people would call that a heat wave. I would call that short weather, but for tomorrow, like we said, short weather, 18 degrees. Now, humidity at 64%, precipitation moving up to 40, so we could get some snowfall, but wouldn't count on any packing snow level. And the winds are coming out of the north at around 10 miles per hour for a wind chill of about 6. Now, 5-day forecast. Friday, partly cloudy or partly sunny, depending on how you cut the dice. 16 degrees for our high, 2 degrees for our low. Sunday, same conditions for our cloud cover. 4 degrees for our high, -7 for our low. Really going to want to bundle up this weekend. And for Tuesday, looks like we might get some snow. So grab the dogs, grab the sleds, and it's time to go sledding. 19 degrees for our high and 9 degrees for our low. Sorry, I just get so excited about sledding. Now, that's it for the weather train this week, but stay tuned because we will be right back with sports.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close field.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch. Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent what.
Welcome back. I'm Matt Andrew with your Marquette Now Sports Report. Men's and women's lacrosse will begin their 2021 campaigns this month. The women play their first match this weekend against Cincinnati, while the men won't play until February 20th after their game against Cleveland State was canceled due to a COVID-19 related issue. Sharing the dome with lacrosse this spring are both the men's and women's soccer teams. Each group comes into the season picked to finish 4th in the Midwest Division. With the new season comes new safety precautions. Tyler Peters has more.
Nearly a year ago, inside this very dome was the last time a game was played at Valley Fields. A long 11 months later, fall and spring sports teams look to finally begin their 2021 seasons. But the difference between now and then is this. Since last fall, Marquette athletes have adopted wearing masks during practice. And like everything else during this pandemic, there was an adjustment period.
Definitely in the fall, it took a little bit of getting used to, especially for me personally, like wearing it under a helmet, just kind of figuring out logistically how that works and keeping it up. But I think right now it's, we have the opportunity to practice, which is like such a great thing in itself, that the mask, I feel like, is so second nature at this point.
Because of the masks, teams have had to step up their communication.
The thing about it is when you're trying to speak, you can't really hear anyone or read their lips if you don't really know what they're saying. So that's definitely been a big adjustment, but I think that everyone's just projecting their voices and being a lot louder. So when we get to games and we don't really have to wear masks, we think that everyone will be so loud and we won't have any communication issues. So
It's still up in the air whether Marquette soccer and lacrosse teams will have to mask up during games.
I actually haven't heard much about it. I mean, the good thing is that we wear it during practice every day, so if it has to come to that, we're prepared for it.
Despite everything, these athletes are ready to finally play again.
I'm so excited to get back. It's like the last game, we just started to get in the swing of things and we were like killing it as a team. And we don't have anyone that really left, so it's basically the same team again, like just picking off from where we left off. And I'm excited, and I think everyone else is too.
Reporting from Valley Fields, I'm Tyler Peters, Marquette Wire Sports.
The men's and women's soccer teams each went 2-0 over the weekend. Both squads did not wear masks during their games, but will continue to wear them during practices. It's still unclear whether men's and women's lacrosse teams will wear masks during their matches. Now looking a little closer at the men's basketball team. Their last game came against the then number 15 Creighton Blue Jays this past Saturday. Marquette was unable to come away with the victory, falling 71-68. The team now has they have lost 4 out of their last 5 games and have a home record sitting below 500. The Golden Eagles are on the road tonight and look to pull off the upset against the ranked number 5 Villanova Wildcats. Tip-off is slated for 8 p.m. Central Time. Now turning our attention to the women's team. The Golden Eagles picked up a victory over Butler earlier today, defeating the Bulldogs 77-48. Junior forward Chloe Murata led the way with 12 points and 7 rebounds. The win comes after the team dropped their previous 2 matchups against then number 3 UConn and then number 20 DePaul. Their next game is Saturday afternoon against the Providence Friars in Rhode Island. Marquette's overall record now sits at 13-4 and 10-3 in Big East play. That's it for sports, but don't go anywhere. Marquette Now will be right back with our Down to the Wire segment.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
probably okay isn't okay. Right? If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really...
Welcome back. I'm Noah Manilow.
And I'm Olivia Homel. Executive News Editor Ben Wells joins us live in the newsroom for tonight's edition of Down to the Wire.
He's with reporter Julia Abuzahad to tell us how Marquette is celebrating Black History Month.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm here with my reporter, Julia. Julia, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Well, it's glad to have you on the show. I'm glad you could be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So you were able to write a story this week about Black History Month, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you go over sort of what the gist, sum it up for our viewers at home. What was that story about?
Yeah, so basically I interviewed 3 different people, faculty, staff, and students, and I talked about not only how they're celebrating Black History Month this year, but also what it means to them and why it's such an important month out of the year.
Right. Now you mentioned that you talked to multiple members of the Marquette community, faculty, staff, and student. Who specifically did you talk to out of the Marquette community?
Yeah, so I talked to Dr. McFadden. He's a director of the High Intensity Program. I talked to Ms. Reinbold. She's a director of the Educational Opportunities Program. And then I talked to a student, Evelyn Gabriel, who's a first year at the College of Nursing.
Interesting. And did they say specifically as to why they may celebrate Black History Month or why it's important that us as Americans should celebrate Black History Month?
Yeah, so specifically talking about Evelyn Gabriel, she mentioned how it's extremely important to her because it allows herself to educate other people that are interested and who might not be that interested in Black History Month and just kind of help them understand the contributions African Americans have made to our society throughout the years and just why February is such an important month overall.
Absolutely. And going off of you saying this, last summer actually, we sort of saw this change in landscape, and I feel like everybody's sort of had the world rock in like these views of racial justice and social justice. And here at The Wire, we saw that, and we realized what we needed to do as reporters and incorporate diversity into our reporting. You personally, how do you incorporate diversity into your reporting to make sure that every story is reaching all,
Yeah, so I guess it's been kind of easier for me since throughout high school I worked on my yearbook committee, and it was really important that we didn't feature one specific type of student and that we included everybody that went to my high school. So I think coming into The Wire, it was easy for me to realize that I needed to talk to a ton of different people, regardless of what they look like. And so I think that was really easy for me and really exciting for me to talk to all these different people that had all different perspectives. And I think it was just important for me to make sure that everybody got their voice shown through in my articles.
Excellent. Very insightful, Julia. Well, that is all the time we have for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us again, Julia. I'll throw it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Ben. That's all we have for you tonight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Noah Manilow.
And I'm Olivia Homel. Remember to check marquettewire.org for all the latest campus news and tune in to Marquette Now next week. Good night, Marquette.